Hello traders, welcome back to the channel and one more session of our weekly futures market outlook. Alright guys, in this video we're going to break down the futures market in its entirety to see where we're looking for this market to go in the upcoming week, and also to structure a sound game plan for this week. Let's jump into it. Alright guys, we're gonna start off with the futures emini. Alright, and last week in the last session we talked about the market being in this very nice uptrending channel, and in order for the market to break out we would have needed the emini to break above this uptrending resistance where we see it hit it there once. So we hit it here once, we hit it here, we hit this level here again, we hit this level again, and we keep on hitting this level. And every time we hit that level, what we actually get is a very nice pullback into the support, which is the moving average. And what we're seeing here is this is a trending market. So when the market is trending, sometimes you don't really have to use a uptrending support line, but you can use the moving averages to act as support as the market continues to trend higher. So basically in this case, you know, we are having a trending market where every time we pull back into the 10 and the 20, guys, the market normally bounces. Yes, we had the one exception where we broke down and came back to kiss the 50 right around here, which is the 50 EMA, and that was a healthy situation, because when we look at, you know, the price action, it has been since November, you know, we hadn't pulled back into the 50. So, you know, November, December, January, and then roughly the end of January we pulled back there. So that was nice and healthy, and from there we see the market bounce and it run right back into the resistance, and here we are again, you know, pulling back. We are right at the 10 now. I wouldn't be surprised if the market pulls down into the 20, and then from pulling down into the 20 EMA, I would look to see, okay, can we get a bounce and come on up and hit our target of 4,000. All right, so ES futures, we're looking for this market to pull back into the 20, or we can bounce off the 10, but I wouldn't be too optimistic about for looking for the bounce at the 10, given that, you know, every time we had bounce in the past, you know, we usually get the bounce when we pull back roughly to the 20. All right, so when we look at that, that's what I'm seeing. I don't feel like the market is going to roll over here, though that is possible. How would we know that, okay, this is not going to be a bounce? Well, if we break the 20, then, you know, we have to look for the market to pull back down into the 50 again, and if we break the 50, you know, then we would look for the market to fall and go down lower. So that's how we'd manage the trade, or, you know, would manage our viewpoint in terms of what is going on with the price action. This also helps us, because how do we know that the market is no longer doing what we're anticipating, or the market is no longer moving in the direction that we were projecting? And this is where all of that comes in terms of knowing at what levels, if the market break these levels, then we're inclined to continue moving to the downside and possibly lower. All right, so yeah, that's what I'm looking at right there. There's one thing I wanted to look at on the hourly chart here for the ES futures emini. Guys, when we look at it, you know, in the bigger picture or the hourly chart, you know, we see the very same uptrend that's on the daily chart. However, you know, when I look at this, I also see where the market has run up here significantly, and then now we just run into this ascending triangular pattern. It's not very pretty, but you know, we can see it. So we're pulling down right now. What is important about this is the fact that, okay, price can actually come down to 3,885 and bounce, and then we get the breakout heading back to the 4,000. However, the opposite of that is true, where if we break, you know, this 3,885 level, which is technically the support of the triangle, which is also the 20 EMA on the daily, then we look to see the market pull back down to around 3,835, and then from there, you know, we'll kind of see where this thing ends up. All right, so just looking at it on the hourly chart as well, we're seeing a additional bullish pattern, but if that pattern breaks, then we look for the market to head low. All right, let's jump on over to the NQ, see what the NQ is telling us. Guys, the story is pretty much the same. We have the uptrending resistance, where every time the market touched that level, that's where we end up getting a pullback, and after the pullback, you know, we'll pull back again into the 10 and 20, because this is a trending market, and when the market is trending, you know, the moving averages will act as support, and we look for the bounce in that area. Now we have pulled back for 4 days straight. We're at the 20, and I don't like the close that we got technically on Friday. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happened when the market opened back up come Sunday for futures, right? Do we break this level and get a significant pullback into the 50 EMA, which is roughly almost down to the 13,000 level, or do we get a bounce right off this 20 EMA and then we continue moving higher? This is a place where I'm just sitting and I'm just watching, because the market or the price action need to show me more information for me to exercise a trade, whether on the long side or on the short side. And on the short side, it would be if the market breaks and give me strong momentum, breaking the 20 to the downside, then, you know, I would, you know, exercise a short with my target being the 50. All right, if we get a bounce here, then we're back to business as normal, and I'm anticipating, okay, do we come back up and make a new high, or do we just retrace roughly to the 13,750 level before, you know, we get another pullback? So right now at this time, you know, we just need a little bit more information before we can actually execute right here, right now. So this one is a wait and see, just like I said, for us to see, do we break the 20 and come down to the 50? Breaking the 20 would be an anticipation of a move down back to the 50 EMA, which would give us a short opportunity. But if we bounce off the 20 right here, as usual, you know, like we see right here, typically when we bounce off the 20, it's an opportunity to go long, based on the history of what price action has been doing. Okay, so that is the game plan right here with NQ. Let's move on over to the YM and see what is the YM telling us, and is there any opportunity here with YM? All right, so last week, guys, we said, or before that, we talked about the resistance level here, that the market run up one time, hit that level, 2 times, we got a double top, then the market end up selling off, which, you know, gives us a very nice M pattern there, and then we bounce up out of the 50 EMA with a very nice run, breaking out of this old resistance level, right? This is super important. Now that we've broken out, you know, the market keeps moving higher, but guys, when you look at it, you can see that these candles, they're not really, you know, pretty strong. They seem like they're really having problem to the upside right now. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm seeing with all of the price action from these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. Typically, this just looks like the YM is not able to go anywhere as yet. So this is still a wait and see, but technically this is the support level. So 31,146, that was the old resistance, has the opportunity to continue holding as the support, as well as, you know, we can see that we have a support level right here that is, you know, stretching up into the future. This is support, 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 and price is still holding right at that level right now. So what are we looking for? Do we get a bounce out of here, which ends up just taking us extremely higher? Or is this market, you know, just waiting to break down and come back down to the 50? Again, in a situation like this, personally for me, I would just wait and see for the clear market direction for me to either exercise long or short, because right here, right now, this market does not really, it's not sure of its direction, to be honest. So I'm looking for either a breakout above, you know, the last high for price to continue moving higher, or do we somehow break all of this support and start to sell off, coming back down into the 50 EMA. All right, so guys, this is how I'm looking at the futures market this week, and this is the game plan. The game plan is to wait and see for a clear market direction, both on the YM and the Nasdaq, to see, hey, do we break down or do we bounce at this level and continue going higher? Also for the ES futures, you know, typically we've seen we got the bounce at this level and then, you know, we move higher. However, I'm not going to look to execute a long trade until we get the confirmation that, okay, we are bouncing off the 10, or we're either pulling back down to the 20 and then bounce. At that time, I will have clarity. I will know what exactly price action is doing, and then, okay, this is an opportunity to execute on a clear price direction or a clear price movement. Because one of the most frustrating thing is when the market is not giving you a clear direction, you will lose a lot more money, because you're trying to go long a little bit when it starts to move along, or it starts to move up, and when it starts to move down, you're trying to short the market, but the market is just, you know, moving in a very small range, and depend on how that range is structured, you know, you can get whipsawed. All right, so let's look for either of those scenarios into this upcoming week, and then that will give us a clear direction of what the market is looking to do. One more thing is, last week I did mention the VIX, and guys, you know, I found it super interesting that the VIX didn't break down the next opening day. When the market opens, it just continued to hold this support right here. So are we going to, you know, pull back here and then try to skyrocket again, which would means that the overall market is going to come down, or do we just continuously keep on holding this level? I think we need more information. So one more day, 2 more days, and then we will be able to see clearly where this market is trying to go. Guys, if you like this video, just hit that thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.